Hey everyone, it's Melissa from Stitcher Mel, and I am back today with kind of a special edition floss tube, I'm going to call this. I won't be covering my regular like whips, haul, all that sort of thing. Today is going to be a combination Stitch Madness contenders / why haven't I started that? If you're not familiar with why haven't I started that, it was something that Brenda and Laura from the Brenda and the Serial Starter FlossTube channel, it was something they did recently. And then a few other FlossTubers have kind of jumped on board. And so I thought I would jump on board as well. And I've got quite a bit, far more than I will start in Stitch Madness, but I do have a few contenders for Stitch Madness. If you're not familiar with Stitch Madness, I'll cover that real quick as well. A couple of 3 years ago, maybe, Jen Lee decided to do her version of Stitch Mania in March and call it Stitch Madness because as an educator, May was not a good month for her, so she moved hers to March. And I've already decided I don't think I'm going to do Stitch Mania this year, but I kind of like the idea of getting in a bunch of new starts. I've got a bunch of things that have merely been calling my name recently, and I just kind of want to get some stitches in them and get going on them. I was at one point trying to keep my whips below 20, but at this point I've kind of given up on that because, you know, as you know, recently Leanne from Lost and Floss, she passed away, and it just made me realize I've got all these things I really want to stitch, and they're just sitting in those bins, you know. I need to get some of them started. And even if that means I have a bunch of whips, you know what? I'm okay with it because I want to stitch on these things. So that's where my mind is. I'm not going to start one every day of the month, so I won't have 31 new starts, but I'm thinking I might fall kind of in the ballpark of somewhere between maybe 8 or 10 new starts this month. Abby from Abby Bella Stitch. Hi, Abby. She summed it up really well in her recent video. She said that our Stitch Madness is kind of like Guilt-Free January from back in the old bulletin board days, which that's where I met her initially, was back on the old bulletin boards. It's kind of like Guilt-Free January, but in March. And I didn't do a Guilt-Free January this year. I had a New Year Day start, and that was it. So, yeah, so I'm jumping in now. Anyway, so let's get started, shall we? So the first one for consideration is Holiday Quaker. And the ones that are in consideration are fully kitted. I've got everything and I'm ready to go. Some of the ones, why have I not started that? I don't have kitted. So, but yeah, this is Holiday Quaker by Lila's Studio. And here's my kit for it. All the called for fibers. What was the called for fabric? I don't know if I did the called for fabric or not. And it just says fabric is provided by Picture This Plus. It doesn't say what it is. But I don't know if it's labeled what the fabric is, but it's just kind of a gray. Yeah, I don't see a name on it anywhere. It's just kind of a gray winter sky kind of feel to it. I've got it in my spreadsheet what the fabric I have for it is, but I just don't have it in the bag. But yeah, so that's the first one. And ironically, over in Brandy's Bestitch Me group on Facebook, I won a giveaway yesterday for the Halloween Quaker, which is a companion to this. So I'm excited that I'll have that one now as well. The next one in contention, a contender, is Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick. I love this chart. And so again, here's my fully kit. This one I have kitted with, what is it? 32 count Platinum Lugana, which I don't know what it called for. It called for 36 count beige, but I'm doing mine on 32 count Platinum, which I think will look fine. So that is contender number 2. We'll see if I can keep on count. Time will tell. Contender number 3 is Midnight Ride by Blackbird Designs. Gorgeous. Love it. And I kind of want to do both pieces. Here's a better picture of the pincushion with that little witch's hat. So cute. I might do it first just to get it knocked out of the way. We shall see. But the called for fabric on this was Prim Green from R&R, which I couldn't get. So when I was at Acorns and Threads in the fall for Fall Fling, I picked up the fibers. These are all Gentle Arts. And Janine helped me pick out a similar piece of fabric. This is Salt Marsh Green from R&R, which the Prim Green was also R&R. So I believe at least. So I'm going to be doing mine on this. So thank you, Janine, for the help. And I got a fat quarter of that, which is going to be plenty for me to do both pieces in this. Let me see, double check if that was R&R. Yeah, the Prim Green was R&R as well. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4 is more chocolate bunnies from Hands On Design. Got this at Market last year. And I have the called for Aspen Linen. And I've already taken them out of the tube, but the called for Sulky, the collection for that. So I've got all of those. Oh, here was the little packet for it. It was 8 colors of Sulky, designed specifically for this pattern. Oh, and I didn't say the count on that linen is 32 count Aspen by Weeks Dye Works. So that is number 4. It's getting harder to keep track because the stack's getting bigger. Number 5, Miss Mandrake by Barbara Anna Designs, excuse me. I got this one on the Creative Poppy website, so it was a PDF. Yeah, so cute. And the called for fabric is 32 count Splash Basalt Murano, which I did pick up from Stitched Modern. I couldn't remember where I got it from. I had a hard time finding it at the time, but I've seen it several other places recently. So I think it may be easier to find now. But at the time I got it, this was the only place I could find it in stock. And it's a quirky enough fabric. I definitely wanted to use the called for. And it only takes a fat 1/8 for the whole chart. And that one is just DMCs. So that was number 5. Number 6 is Liberty Hill Farm from Silver Creek Samplers. The called for fabric on this one, Serenity Jobelin from Silkweaver, which I did not have. So I am again doing this on Platinum. Platinum is one of my favorite fabrics, actually. So you will see Platinum a lot in my projects. And then it's a combination of Gentle Arts and Weeks threads on that one. So that is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I was right, 6. So number 7. Now this one, there's not a picture of the chart it's just the chart. So I'm going to show you the box. This is Ode to the Art. I'm getting wicked glare on that. Brenda Gervais. This was a Nashville exclusive kit last year. And so I've got the little tin to put it on. And then it is stitched 1/1 on 28 count mushroom. I don't generally stitch in hand. I have some 28 count mushrooms, so I am probably going to cut a larger piece because this is just, you would have to stitch in hand on this. It's so tiny. And then here are the fibers that were included with the kit. So that is 8, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Number 7. Math is hard on a Sunday, y'all. Okay, so number 8 is Autumn Alphabet by the Scarlet House. All kitted with the called for fabric, which, let's see what it says. This is 40 count mocha, which, and this is one of the things that frustrates me. And I think I talked about this at the time when I shared this in my haul. Look how neutral that fabric looks in that photo in the chart. And then look at this linen. Not even remotely the same. And that frustrates me. Because this is the look I liked. That's why I bought it. But Tanya is amazing with colors. So I'm going to trust her. And I'm going to stitch it on that linen. And if I don't like it, I'll rip it out and put it on something else. That is number 8. Number 9 is Peace, Love, and Purpose from Plum Street Samplers. So pretty. This one calls for 36 count Wren, which is what I have. And then I've got all the fibers for it, all called for. So yeah. Not only is this a contender, this is definitely a why haven't I started that? I love that. Ah, so pretty. So that was number 9. Number 10, this is from a Just Cross Stitch magazine. This was from the February 2020 issue. I get the digital subscription, so I just printed out the pages from the PDF. This is from Tiny Modernist. So pretty. Look at that little cabin. It called for 28 count ash gray Annabelle fabric. I am doing mine on 32 count silvery moon. I think it'll look fine. I think mine's a little bit lighter than the called for, but that's all right. I do have some gray coming from Brandy at Bestitch Me. I might take a look and see how it would look. And that is a darker gray, so I might go with that. And this one is just kitted with DMC. So that is Cabin in the Woods, Tiny Modernist. That was number 10. As some of you know, I recently started Rose Quaker by Vienberg Designs. Well, I also have Dragonfly Quaker from them, also fully kitted. And this one is DMC. And I don't have the fabric in here yet. It's over in my bin. But I am planning to stitch this on the same Winter Moon linen that I am doing Rose Quaker on. So they'll kind of match. And if I don't like how these pretty teals look on that, then I'll get just some antique white and do it on that. So that was number 11. So those are the contenders. Now we'll get to the why have I not started that, and some of these may end up being contenders. Some of these may displace some of the contenders I just showed you. This one is from Just Cross Stitch Magazine. Oh, I don't have a date on it. Let's see. Hang on. Let me see if I can find the date real quick. I like to give the date when I can. February 2009. And it is from... Who's the designer? Da, da, da. Hands to Work Designs. And this is the day. How beautiful is that? And it says, it's got the alphabet at the top, and then in the little inset right here, it says, remember thy creator, and then it has the initials and the date. And then here at the bottom, it says, this is the day the Lord hath made, rejoice and be glad in it, which is a Bible verse. And I am not a religious person, but I just love this sampler. I think it's really, really beautiful. So yeah, why have I not started that? Next up is Emma's Samplers, which is from the June 2005 issue. This is Kathy Barrick. She was Carriage House Samplings at the time, but her sister, I believe, now owns Carriage House Samplings, and Kathy designs under just Kathy Barrick Designs. But how pretty is that? And there's a second one. There's two. I'll have to kind of fold this around so I won't show the chart, but there's the second smaller one. That's a companion. They're both in the same issue. And again, this was the June 2005 Just Cross Stitch. Why have I not started that? Next is from the September-October 2009 Just Cross Stitch, and this is from the late Lisa Roswell of the Primitive Needle. I remember vividly when she passed away, when she drowned. It was a very sad loss for the stitching community because she was an incredible, incredible designer. This is called Halloween Revelry. Oh, I love that so much. Why haven't I started that? Why? Ugh. Okay, next up, I've got some Blackbirds. This is just Blackbird. This was part of the Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles song Blackbird. It's a little monochromatic, so cute. This one calls for what fabric? 30 count creek bed brown from R&R, but I will probably just do it on some neutral I have in my stash already. I don't have any R&Rs in my stash. All the R&R linens I have are in projects. So next up, also from Blackbird, also from the Magical Mystery Tour series, is Strawberry Fields Forever. So pretty. Love that. This one calls for 32 count Confederate Gray by Weeks, which I might pick up at some point. But why haven't I started that? Oh, it's so gorgeous. Next, this is one of the anniversaries of the heart. I know there are a lot of people stitching these right now with the salve that Olivia has going. This is going to sound bad because I love Blackbird's designs, but I don't necessarily love every house in that series. So I've already done the first one, which I believe was Snow Garden. I did it years ago when the series first came out. And I have this one as well because I love pumpkins and I love autumn. So this is Pumpkin Farm, which is house number 10 in the series, I believe, right? Yeah. Why haven't I started that? Look at that white pumpkin, y'all. Oh, love it. Next up is one from the Blackbird Designs Home for the Holidays book. This book is amazing, and there's a couple in here that I feel like, why haven't I started that yet? Hang on, let me find them. Okay, yeah, there's no chart on this one. Christmas Garden. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. And the last one, I know it's at the back of the book. "'Tis the Season." I don't think there's much of the chart here, but let's see. Oh, there we go. I can do it like this, maybe. I can't tell if you can see it or not. Yeah. And then there's a close-up of the bird. Love that. Why haven't I started that? Next up, this was from I don't remember what issue. Let's see. Oh, the 2019 Christmas Winter issue from Barbara Anna. Oh, from Punch, Needle, and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Forgot to say that part. This is Holy Night from Barbara Anna Designs. So cute. Love the hoop finish on it too. I think that's definitely the way to go with that, which would be a very economical finish. Next up, this is one I apparently got on clearance. Love that. This is Pumpkin Pumpkin by the Scarlet House. So cute. This one, the called for fabric is 28 count Legacy from Picture This Plus. And it's stitched in all Weeks Dye Works, but there is a DMC conversion on the back. So I might do some picking and choosing on that and use some things. Like I wouldn't mind, doing the writing here in just DMC and save myself a little money. But maybe, pick up the overdye for the pumpkin. So, yeah. Pumpkin, pumpkin. This next one was one I was completely enabled by Stephanie at Lindy Stitches. I saw her finish on it and I was like, I need that, please. This is Moon and Spider Apple Cider from Needlework Press. Oh, so cute. And I even have a fabric that I think I want to stitch this on. I've got some applesauce from Coloring Cotton. The fibers it calls for are some weeks, but it does have, I have to be careful because I don't want to show the chart. It does have a DMC conversion, and it also calls for a petite, no, not petite, just a treasure braid. And it says that the model was stitched on 28 count Manor House by Stitches and Spice. I've never heard of Stitches and Spice. Next up, this was a market exclusive last year for the shops who attended market. This is Needles Dance, which is a collaboration between Kathy at Hands On Design, Tracy at Ink Circles, and Beth at Summer House Stitchworks. And I haven't decided yet which fabric I want to use. I'm kind of leaning towards the bottom one, which is Country French Cafe Mocha. I mean, I like the blue fabric. I think it makes those colors pop so beautifully, but it just really doesn't go with any part of the decor of my house. And if I ever get this framed or make it into a pillow or something, I would like to kind of be able to display it. And I just think this version on the, Country French Cafe Mocha would just work better. So I may go that route. But boy, it looks pretty on the blue. I've seen so many people stitching it on the blue. Next up, this is another Brenda Gervais, Boo to You. So cute. Look at that pumpkin. Oh. And she's got a few more in this series now. And in fact, I think there's another one coming out at market next weekend. So this one calls for 36 count winter brew linen from R&R. Don't have that. But boy, it looks pretty on there, doesn't it? And the last one I have of the Why Have I Not Started That? This is from Whispered by the Wind. And this is Cantata. Love that. It calls for 28 count Legacy from Picture This Plus. And it calls for 2 Threadworks fibers. It calls for Woodland Green and Bleeding Hearts, which you may remember I'm currently using Bleeding Hearts on my Linens and Threads 2020 Mystery Sal. So I love that color. So yeah, it does give substitutions for Carrie's hand dyed floss, which I'm not sure that's made anymore. This is an older chart. This is 2008. Weeks Dye Works and DMC. The 2 weeks it suggests are Holly for the green and Turkish Red for the red, obviously. The DMCs are 986 and 815. So yeah, that is Cantata. So pretty. So that is everything. I am not going to announce giveaway winners in this video. I will do a special. I want to give people another week to be able to enter my 3,000 subscriber giveaway. So I will do just like a quick 2 or 3 minute video next weekend announcing the winners of that. And I think that's everything. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Well, the weekend's almost over. It's midday Sunday here in the US. But anyway, hope everyone has a great week. And I will talk to you next weekend when I announce my winners. Bye-bye.